I just want to start with a quick tour of our bubble editor. Over here, we have the UI builder, which is what you will use majority of the time to look at your application, add elements, change its design, etc. Over here, we have the elements tree. As you add things like text and buttons and icons and containers, that will start being populated over there. Here we have our responsive engine. Normally, you are able to move this back and forth, but right now with the given presets, you are not able to, and I'll get into that on a later video. But this just makes you understand how your application will look on different screen sizes, as screen sizes are not standardized. Here we have the Workflows tab. This is where all the logic, the actions behind your whole application live. Here we have data. You can create a new data type, and then all of your app data is stored and visible over here. Here we have styles to maintain consistency throughout your application, as well as a color scheme and a default font. We have plugins to add new functionality to your application, as well as to connect APIs. If you don't know what any of this means, don't worry about it. By the end of this course, you'll be an expert. Here we have settings, all of the usual things, and then logs, which just covers how much of Bubble's server does your application use. Let's look at our visual elements over here, specifically our text, button, icon, and image, because those are going to be the ones that we use the most often. Let's start with text. We'll get into this in a bit, but for now, you can change the font, the weight of the text, it just became bold. We can increase its size, change its color, all of the regular things that you would expect in an editor like Google Docs, as well as line spacing, word spacing, and letter spacing. We can also add background style, so we can add a light color behind that and borders as well. Let's look at our button. Again, we have the same editing capabilities for the text within the button, as well as the ability to change the background style, and then also to add a border, shadow style, and all of these other things. Here we have icons. There is a huge library from which to choose one, and then over here we can change the size as well, and also borders, roundness, background style. And we can get that sort of look. Here we have an image. I just added one from Pexels. We can change the size of the image, the aspect ratio, give it a border, and then also change its roundness. Now, this is under input forms. It is a basic text input. We will work on some logic with this later, and we will not be using it until we get into the actual logic of the app. But I just wanted to show you that you have very similar controls as if a button and a text field were merged together. This is what you get. I will cover groups in one of the next lessons.